Hello and welcome to Shubhra Ranjan IAS. Today we are here with our weekly newspaper and editorial analysis of history segment. So in this session, we are going to look at the news related to Shri Aurobindo, Sardar Patel, Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971, then Kashi-Tamil Sangamam, and then we'll go on to discuss our section, A Peek into the Past. Here I have added a medallion from Bharhut. We'll look at that. So starting with our first news of the week, Shri Aurobindo. Why was he in news? Because PM participated in a program commemorating Shri Aurobindo's 150th birth anniversary and released commemorative postal stamp and coin. You must have read the news. So when we are talking about Shri Aurobindo, see, he is important from your GS1 point of view and for people who have taken philosophy optional. So when we are discussing Shri Aurobindo, we'll look at him from two point of views, from an Indian nationalist and a spiritual reformer. So coming to the Indian nationalist segment, what we should know about him as a UPSC aspirant is that he is somebody who has a lot of things to his credit. He is a philosopher, he was a teacher, he was a revolutionary nationalist, he is a spiritual leader, he was a yogi, a seer. A lot of things were given to his credit. So what is important here to understand, you must know the basic information, basic factual information about him, about his birth in Kolkata, death in Pondicherry. These are not the things that we are going to discuss here. These are some of the basic informations that you can get from the basic books. So looking at this aspect of him being an Indian nationalist, we should know that he is somebody who cleared the ICS examination but did not join it. He came to the state of Baroda and Gaikwad. There he started working. So he is somebody who knows a lot of Western as well as Indian classical languages. He also taught as a language teacher. What is happening when Swadeshi movement, see, you must have read the partition of Bengal. So in this wake, he is somebody who is believing in revolutionary activities. He is somebody who is actually arguing that freedom cannot be achieved by being passive actors. So he is the one who is actually helping founding the Anushilan Samiti. Anushilan Samiti, again, you must have read, a Samiti which was associated with revolutionary activities, or the term revolutionary terrorism has also been used. So he was associated with the founding of the Samiti. So that is something that you should know. Barindas, again, was his brother, both of them. So both of them were working as revolutionaries. What are they doing? They are taking up arms. They are talking about violent activities to actually fight against the British. So again, you must be aware about the Khudiram Bose and Prafulla Chaki case. We will not go into the details. We are here to tell you how to understand and relate the news to GS1 paper. So the Prafulla Chaki and Khudiram Bose case, and then Alipur conspiracy. So in Alipur bomb conspiracy, this person, Aurobindo Ghosh, he was arrested. C.R. Das, he fought his case, and this person, again, see, in 1909 he is getting arrested and in Alipur jail. So he is realizing that he is saying, he is supposed to have said that he could hear the voice of Swami Vivekananda. So he is somebody who is moving towards spiritual awakening, and here this part come into the place, that he is somebody who is now working as a spiritual reformer. So he is practicing yoga, he is fleeing from there, and he is seeking refuge in the Pondicherry, in Pondicherry. Pondicherry was a French colony. There he got refuge, and he started practicing yoga, meditation. He started understanding philosophy, and he wrote a lot upon the philosophical ideas. So these are some of the major works which is to his credit. The Life Divine, Synthesis of Yoga, Savitri, a legend and a symbol. Here he is comparing Bharat Mata. Again, he is talking about the image of Bharat Mata too in this particular text. The English newspaper called Bande Mataram. So here he is again clearly criticizing the British government, and he had 2 sedition charges against him. So the English newspaper Bande Mataram becomes very important. You should know that it was started in 1905. Basis of yoga, Bhagavad Gita and its message, the future evolution of man, rebirth and karma, are of God. So by the name of these books only you can understand that he is somebody who is very much into spirituality. So what kind of spirituality he is talking about? He is talking about integral yoga. So see, he is somebody who is trying to integrate both Western and Eastern philosophies. So in Eastern philosophies, he is talking about, you can say Bhagavad Gita, he is talking about Upanishads, he is talking about Vedic philosophy, and he is also talking about Hegelian ideas. So he is trying to create a synthesis of both these ideas. So that again is something which goes to his credit. He is talking about the philosophy of divine life on earth. So that is also something which is very important. Now coming to the philosophy of integral yoga, he is combining the 4 important schools of philosophy. He is creating a synthesis of that: idealism, spiritualism, realism and pragmatism. So that integral philosophy of integral yoga is a synthesis of all these philosophies. We will not go into that detail because that is something which philosophy optional people should understand. You should know the important terminologies that are related to Sri Aurobindo. Again, when he is in Pondicherry, he is helping set up a group of spiritual seekers, and from there the Aurobindo ashram is established, and that is a very important, you can say that this is an institution of Aurobindo ashram that is very widespread in today's India. So these are some of the things which you should know about Sri Aurobindo, and again you can use his ideas, his philosophies when you are writing philosophy optional answer. From your GS point of view, you should know these basic details. A question can be asked in prelims or in mains also, but if a question will be asked in mains, it should be related to, they'll try to relate to people. For example, Vivekananda or Sri Aurobindo's philosophies discuss about that. Clear? So you should read about him in a bit of detail when you are preparing for this year's prelims. Now, coming to the second news, Sardar Patel. Why Sardar Patel was in news? Because of his 72nd death anniversary. Now, again, when we are talking about Sardar Patel, he is somebody who is very important for our country, for the integration of our country, and we'll look at that how. So, one question which is very important and which you should practice is discuss the contributions of Sardar Patel in Indian national movement and in post-independence integration of princely states. So, again, he is somebody who is very important when it comes to Indian national movement also, and after the independence also he has played a very important role. So while discussing him, you should know about his nationalist endeavors in pre-independence India. You should know how he played a very important role when constitution was being framed, and you should know why he is called the Iron Man of India, again because of the integration of so many princely states into the Indian state. Okay, clear? So the question would be asked upon Indian national movement, his contribution in Indian national movement and in post-independence India. So both these aspects you should be clear about. So if a question like that is asked, or if you are studying about Sardar Patel, start from the very basic. So you should start from 1918 when he is actually organizing the Kheda Satyagraha. So you must have read when you are reading Gandhi's political career in India. So the 3 satyagrahas which come, Champaran, Kheda and Ahmedabad strike. So in that, when we are talking about Kheda Satyagraha, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is playing a very important role there. He is organizing the peasants. So see, he is somebody who is very much influenced by the ideas of Gandhi, the ideas of non-violence, the ideas of moral strength. He is somebody who believes in the unity of Hindus and Muslims. He is talking about secular ideas. He is somebody with that mindset. Now, when he is working in Kheda, he is organizing a struggle of peasants against the British government, against the people who are, see, these people are again increasing taxes and posing taxes when there is a condition of famine. So he is somebody who is associated with the Kheda movement, helping organize peasants against these taxes that were being collected. That is one thing that you should know. Then when we'll move forward, I am assuming that you know the timeline of Indian national movement. So when we move to non-cooperation movement, NCM, so in non-cooperation movement, he gave up his practice because here people are boycotting. So he also gave up his practice and he is establishing Gujarat Vidyapeeth. So why establishing Gujarat Vidyapeeth? For the education of children, so that students could go there and study if they are boycotting government schools. Here when we say government, again you should keep in mind that the government schools, the government is British. So in non-cooperation movement, people are boycotting government colleges and schools. So he is establishing Gujarat Vidyapeeth to make students study. If they are boycotting schools, their education should not suffer. So that is one thing. Then again, coming to 1928, the Bardoli Peasant Satyagraha. In Bardoli also, he has played a very important role in integrating the peasants, in making them aware and organizing a Satyagraha. See, in 1931, he is the president of Karachi session. So he is leading the Congress, Indian National Congress there. He is being the president of that particular Congress session. When it comes to, you must have studied no changers versus Swarajists. So he is somebody who is in the favor of no changers, and he is talking about the constructive programs being held out in villages. He is talking about making village people aware of the ideas of nationalism and spreading awareness through constructive programs. So again, that is something to his credit. Then see, after when we are culminating towards independence of India, again there are a lot of negotiations which are taking place for freedom as well as for partition, which was very torturous and painful. Sardar Patel is somebody who is being a part of those conversations, and he has played a very important role in negotiating for India's freedom and as well as the partition deals that were happening at that particular time. Okay, he is somebody who has played a very important part when it comes to drafting of Indian Constitution. He was part of the Constituent Assembly. He is somebody who is associated with bringing up a lot of people, persuading them to join the drafting committee. He himself was the chairman of different committees. For example, if you take the case of rights of minorities or tribals or fundamental rights or provincial constitutions, so he was the chairman of those committees. Okay, so again, this is something where he has played a very important role. He became the deputy prime minister when India got independence. He was the head of home affairs, information and broadcasting. And again, when India is getting independence, see, one thing is the drafting of constitution. Second thing you must know, and you must be knowing, I am assuming, that India was divided. When India got independence, there were a lot of princely states, and all of them had the right to join either the state of India or Pakistan or stay independent. It is Sardar Patel who is, so there are around 565 princely states. It is Sardar Patel who is actually credited with getting all those princely states join the Indian state. So he adopted various policies where diplomacy was required. He applied diplomacy where force was required. For example, in case of Junagadh or Hyderabad, he applied that policy also. So he is somebody who is known as the Iron Man of India, because he is responsible for integrating all those princely states into Indian state. Clear? So that is something which is very important when it comes to Sardar Patel and his contributions towards the making of India. So that is something that you should be very clear about. Now, coming to the third news, Bangladesh Liberation War 1971. Why was it in news? So it was in news because Victory Day is commemorated on December 16th, marking the end of 1971 Indo-Pak War and liberation of Bangladesh. So when we are, so this is a photograph of the protests that were taking place in present-day Bangladesh. For the liberation of Bangladesh and for creating it into an independent nation. So this is a photograph of Mujibur Rahman, who was their leader. So That is there. So when we are looking at the Liberation Day, we should understand the background, the immediate cause why the war was fought, and what was India's role in the war. So again, see, go back to the partition. It is important when you are understanding the international relations, as well as when you are studying India's role, India's foreign policy, for example, how it has acted out when countries are asking for help, or you should know what is happening in post-independent India. From that perspective also, this is important. So see, go back to the Freedom Day, when India is getting independence and when two nations are being formed. Go back there and remember, so India and partition happened, India and Pakistan, two states were created, two nations were created. So there was the state of India and Pakistan. So in Pakistan there was West Pakistan and there was East Pakistan, which is present day Bangladesh, and there was a geographical divide. So India was in between. So one factor which is very important to understand, that there was a geographical divide between the two parts of Pakistan. So that was there. Then when we are talking about political authority, see, Pakistan also started as a parliamentary democracy as us, but Pakistan could not stay as a parliamentary democracy. Pakistan actually turned into a state which was governed by military. So that was a very big problem which arose there, and it there were a lot of coups by military, and they hold the real power in their hands. So that is something that you should keep in mind, that this is something that has happened. Pakistan is not a parliamentary democracy anymore. We are talking about the past. It did not remain a parliamentary democracy. Now what is happening when it comes to the political aspect of Pakistan? Again, there was a big divide. Mostly people from West Pakistan, they held the important administrative and political positions, and people from East Pakistan, they felt very sidelined. Then coming to the economic aspect, what was there? So see, a larger share of revenue that came from East Pakistan, but it was invested in West Pakistan. So again, there was a divide when it came to development of both the areas. So these people were having a larger share of revenue, still it was being invested in West Pakistan, that was relatively developed when we compare it to East Pakistan. So that was again another friction when it came to East and West Pakistan. Now coming to the cultural aspect, see, when partition happened on the basis of religion. So Hindus and Muslims, that was the basis of partition. But if you look at the cultural aspect, so culture was different. When we are talking about East Pakistan, present day Bangladesh, they were Bengali speaking people mostly. When we are talking about present day Pakistan, that was known as West Pakistan back then, their Urdu imposition was there. So Jinnah was very clear about it, that Urdu is going to be the language of Pakistan, and that is something which is irritating these people. So what happened, that when Urdu was declared as the national language, there is a fear that cultural imposition is being made, and these things are, see, we are not going into the details when it happened, how it happened. We are talking about the important themes that are required for our understanding. So see, when Urdu imposition is being done, people who are speaking Bangla, mostly in East Pakistan, they are feeling threatened that their cultural identity is going to be diminished. So these people will demand for a separate state. So gradually, which started as a protest, it will turn into demand of separate state, because all these problems are there: lack of political representation, economic growth, geographical divide, cultural divide, all these things are there. Now what is happening? in 1970, Awami League, which was a party in East Bengal, that is winning with a landslide majority. Again, a very important thing which is important here for you to understand and remember, that this party won almost all the seats in East Bengal, but when it East Pakistan, but when it comes to winning seats in West Pakistan, they did not win seats. Again, the same thing happened with West Pakistan. The party which emerged victorious there, they could not win seats in East Pakistan. So a party which is influential in West Pakistan, they have no base in East Pakistan. The party which is influential in East Pakistan, they have no base in West Pakistan. But what is important, that Awami League was in majority. Okay, so Mujibur Rahman, he was the leader, and this party was in majority. So what happened, that here people who are in West Pakistan, Yahya Khan, so these people said that we do not respect this election, and they did not let Awami League form the next government. And that is something which is irritating people of East Pakistan further, because what is happening, even if you are winning in majority, you are not allowed to form a government. And what will happen, that under the leadership of Yahya Khan, Operation Searchlight would be Operation Searchlight will start, and there they are going to do a genocide. So what is happening, people, important leaders, people who are demanding for Bangladesh, a separate state, these people are being hunted down and killed. Now what will happen, that around 10 million people from East Pakistan will start migrating to India. See, we are talking about 1970. This is 1970 and 71 in March. So what is happening? Remember this time, you must have studied that this is the era of Cold War. So there are two power blocks, US and Soviet Union. India's affiliation was more towards Soviet Union, and USA, China, these are more important power blocks. We are talking about important powers of South Asia. So here Russia, China, India. China was siding with USA. So China is someone who will support West Pakistan. US will support West Pakistan. Now what will happen, even if India wants to take an action, India will have to explain its position, explain her position to the international community. There, these important powers are in the favor of West Pakistan, and the atrocities that are being done, it is being overlooked. But Soviet Union will support India, because India is actually putting forward the case of refugees, and it is not, when Indira Gandhi was the prime minister then, and when these people are migrating, especially to the state of Bengal and the adjoining areas which are there from Bangladesh, so these states are asking for help from Indian prime minister, that they need to, if they need to settle these refugees, if they have to provide them food and shelter, they need additional assistance. So what will happen, that India will start helping the cause of East Pakistan, because these atrocities are happening simultaneously. This is something which turned into a humanitarian cause. So India will start the Operation Jackpot, and the Mukti Bahini, that was their army of East Pakistan. So Mukti Bahini, they'll start actually aiding them in terms of arms, in terms of training, and these people are starting the guerrilla warfare technique, and they'll keep fighting with the military personals of West Pakistan. Now these things are happening. What will happen eventually, on 3rd of December, West Pakistan will launch a preemptive strike on Western India, parts of Amritsar and the adjoining areas. Now what will happen, they have directly attacked India, and there on 4th of December, India will retaliate back. So there, the Indo-Pak War of 1971 starts, and in 13 days only the war will be over. And what will happen in East Pakistan? These people, Mukti Bahini as well as the Indian army which is fighting, they'll win the war, and around 93,000 military personnel, they'll surrender. They'll sign the instrument of surrender. So remember the numbers, 93,000 army men, they surrendered. So it is the largest surrender after the World War II. So they surrendered, and what will happen? Finally an agreement would be signed. There West Pakistan will actually recognize East Bengal as Bangladesh, an independent nation now. And they, because they had arrested Mujibur Hassan also, they'll release them, and on the other hand, India will return the 93,000 prisoners of war that were kept to Pakistan again. So that is how the new nation of Bangladesh was born. Okay, now when we are talking about India's role in it, see, for India what is very important in this regard? First thing, that two war fronts which might have been there in case of any further confrontations with Pakistan, that ended, because India would have been attacked from both the sides, East Pakistan as well as West Pakistan. Now East Pakistan is turned into Bangladesh, a new independent nation, so that threat is not there. The second thing which was very important, it actually proved India to be a very important leader in South Asian politics, because India is a nation which is aiding the people of East Bangladesh in fighting for their liberation, and that they actually emerged victorious. So that is something which is very important. It is establishing India's repute on world level as a very important power in South Asia now. So that is something that you should know. Now, coming to the fourth news, Kashi. So before going to that, there was another news which was about Panini's Ashtadhyayis. So there is a PhD scholar, Rishi Rajput. He has solved a problem, a Sanskrit problem in Panini's Ashtadhyayis. So there was a meta rule. Again, you do not need to go into the details of the meta rule and how he has solved it, but you should know that he is somebody who has solved this meta rule which was confusing scholars for years now. And why this discovery is very important and revolutionary, because now it is said that Sanskrit can be taught to computers. So that is why this discovery is very important. The solution that he has offered is very important. That is something that you should know. Now coming to this news, Kashi-Tamil Sangamam. Why was it news? Because 1 month long program got over. So again, here we do not need to go into a lot of details, because for 1 month this program has been going on, and you must have read a lot about it in newspapers already. So here see what is important. So here see what is important when we are talking about Kashi-Tamil Sangamam. So the important thing is understanding its cultural significance, and the second point which you should understand is unity in diversity. So when we are talking about these two areas, Tamil and Kashi, both these areas are important cultural and educational centers when it comes to ancient Indian history. And it was an effort to integrate the both knowledge traditions in present day India. So there were a lot of seminars, a lot of talks which were organized, papers were discussed on the subjects of philosophy, texts, dance, music, drama. Our Prime Minister actually launched a translation of Tamil text, Tirukural. So it was, the translation was launched in 13 languages. So here what is the effort is there to actually bring these two cultures together, and there has been a historical connection. So Ramanujacharya also, when he was seeking spirituality and when he was actually spreading the knowledge of spirituality, he is supposed to have come to Kashi. A Pandyan king, he came to Kashi, and he actually when he was coming back from here, he brought a lingam back to Tamil Nadu, and there the two cities, Tenakashi and Shivakashi, that were established where lingam is there, and it is again associated to Kashi because he is supposed to have brought the lingam from Kashi and to have established it there. So again, that is another connection which is there. So when we are talking about cultural significance, that is very important. When we are talking about unity in diversity, see, that is the Tamil speaking area. When we are talking about Kashi, this is the Hindi speaking area. So it will again help bringing people of different cultures, different languages together. Clear? So that is the importance of Kashi-Tamil Sangamam. And it was again convened in the month of Kartik, which is very important for both Tamil calendar, according to Tamil calendar also, and according to the calendar used here also, the Kartik Mas, which is there. So that is the importance of Kashi-Tamil Sangamam, that they are trying to bring two cultures together. They are trying to integrate the two cultural and knowledge traditions which existed in past and even in present day. So that is something which is very important and you should know. Now coming to our segment which I had introduced, a peek into the past. So we had discussed before Didarganj Yakshi, and in the last session I showed you a sculpture from Sanchi which was about war of relics. Now this is from Barhut. So Barhut, you must know, a very important Buddhist stoop which was there, and this is the medallion which is taken from that stoop only. So what is this medallion all about? See, back then there were a lot of stupas that were being constructed. The example, last sculpture we discussed from Sanchi Stupa, this one is from Barhut, both of them very important center of Buddhism. So when we are talking about these stupas, there were a lot of stories from Buddha's life that were being depicted there, one of them being Maya's dream. So there are 8 important events in Buddha's life, and I thought of bringing this first event which is very important from Buddha's life to you, which is about Maya's dream or birth of Buddha. So it is popularly known as Maya's dream. See, there is, you could see, I am assuming, one inscription here. So this inscription is in Brahmi, and what is written here? Bhagavato Ukranti. That means descent of the divine being. So Bhagavato Ukranti, it is written here, and these kind of inscriptions are known as label inscriptions. Why label inscription? Because it is telling what is depicted here. So in Barhut you will see a lot of label inscriptions. On the other hand, in Sanchi you will see a lot of donative inscriptions. So label inscription which is there, it is written Bhagavato Ukranti, it is written in Brahmi script. Coming to the sculpture itself, so see here Maya Devi is lying down. Maya Devi was Buddha's mother. So she is lying down here, a lamp post is here, and you can see that these women are fanning around Maya Devi, because obviously she is a princess or a queen, you can say. So these people are their attendees, and here see Buddha is, it is supposed to be a white elephant. So Buddha is coming to Maya Devi's womb as a white elephant. So, and see again, when you are talking about descent of divine beings, how they are born, you will often see the same story. The same story is associated with Mahavir also. This is how Trishula also got pregnant. So the white elephant is coming, and he'll touch Maya's womb and Buddha will be conceived. So here again you can see that when the white elephant is coming, this woman is holding her hands. That means she is witnessing a divine event. And here the inscription also itself makes it clear that it is the descent of Buddha, Bhagavato Ukranti. So that is something, this is one of the stories that is depicted in Barhut. There are a lot of Jatak stories that are depicted in Barhut. We'll try getting those for you in the coming sessions. Here, see here, I had told you in the last session only, when we are looking at visual representations, there are a lot of things we can understand. So the kind of lampposts that are there, look at the way they are folding their clothes, look at the way they are making their hair. So the history of jewelry making, the history, you can see how in popular culture people were dressing up, how people were making their hair. All these things can be seen from there. So this is one medallion from Barhut which I brought to you here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your preparation is going well. Keep studying. We'll meet next week. Thank you.